Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Abel and welcome back to my channel. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go on a quick trip out of my city, and ever since I planned this trip, I set myself the goal to go to Lumen, which is an art supply store that I love to visit. In this store, you can find a lot of supplies for arts, design, and many more. I am always looking at their website because there is no Lumen in my home city. Actually, I'd love to have a Lumen in my home city. I took a little time and I went there, and I bought some new materials that I have wanted to get for a while and that I am very excited to try. That's why for today's video, and as you can see on the title, today I will show you this Lumen haul. First of all, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to open this watercolor that I have wanted for a very long time. The first thing that I find is this brush that comes in the package. That actually I have right here, and that comes in most of the watercolor sets that I've seen. The problem that I have with this particular brush is that I think it's pretty bad, to tell you the truth. I don't like this kind of bristles, and this is something that I have talked to you about in the past, that I prefer to work with synthetic brushes, but actually this is a personal preference. Also, this is something that I saw when I taught art for beginners, because I asked my students to work with a set of Crayola watercolors that included one of these brushes. A very cheap watercolor set, but for the price it works perfectly, and actually I still use them pretty oftenly. And as I told you, this watercolor also included this brush that, in my opinion, is not the best to work with watercolor, especially if you are using watercolors for the first time. And coming back to the watercolors, this set comes in a plastic case that is very resistant, I think, and that the cover opens quite widely, as you can see over here. Taking a closer look to the peels, I see that the glue on the white watercolor, I don't know how to say this, but I think it came from beneath the peel, but I don't think this is going to affect how the watercolor performs. And besides that, I don't see this problem in any other peel. But something that caught my eye was this peel in particular that looks like mustard and that seems to be porous, and when I touch it, it feels powdery, and that's something that doesn't happen with the other watercolors. I am not sure if this is going to affect how the watercolor works, but perhaps it's just the top layer of the peel, but I'll have to see. And just take a look at this beautiful color palette. That this is one of the reasons I decided to get these watercolors, and also because I saw some of my favorite artists that use them. In the bottom of the case, you can see these little spaces that you can use as a palette to mix the watercolors or to prepare the color. And in the back, you can find a little bit of information. What I like the most about these watercolors is that you get a lot of materials for what you pay for. By the way, all the materials I got are going to be listed in the description box with each of their prices. Now I will show you this block of paper that every time I get a new paper, it excites me a lot. And this is a paper from Italy that's called Firenze. I will remove the plastic cover, and with the cover I took off this little tag with a little bit of information. In the front, you can see that it has 50 sheets of paper, and they are around 15 per 20 centimeter. And the most important thing, the weight. That in this case, it's 200. I say that this is a very important thing because you can use this particular paper with a lot of materials. For example, watercolors, markers, color pencils, and many more. I knew there was a blog from this brand specific to work with watercolor. However, it wasn't available when I went there. Now, in the case of the paper, in theory and well, in practice of course, the higher the weight, the more water it will resist. And when I open the block, the sheets are glued from the top and you have to detach them. I wanted to get this paper because of their size, and I say this because the paper that I normally use, that actually I have them right here, that is this Hansen with 300 weight, and this one from Hanemule, that I think that's how you pronounce it, but if not, let me know in the comment section, with a weight of 250. And what I do is to take one of these sheets and cut it in half, and that's something that I will avoid with this new paper that I got. But although I haven't used it, I can tell that it doesn't bear a lot of water, but I think that this paper is going to work perfectly with dry paper works, that this is something that I want to use more regularly, for example in illustrations of characters, but I will let you know that as soon as I get to work with it. The next thing that I'm going to show you are these Indian ink pens, but I am not sure if that's how you call it in English. And the first thing to do is to take off the plastic cover. And as you can see, the handle is not secured. And by the way, I think it's made of plastic, but I am not very sure. The pens are stick to the cardboard, and here you can see them a little bit closer. Each of them has a number from 1 to 5, the 1 being the thicker and the 5 the thinner. Now I want to put the pen in the handle, and here is where I found something that I didn't like, because as I show you right here, the edge of the pen is pretty sharp. And here is where I'm going to do something that I don't like about YouTube, and that's getting personal. Because I used to work putting clips for archives, like this one that I'm showing you right here, and I've cut it myself so many times that I lost count. And this little edge reminds me sadly of these clips. And to tell you the truth, I have no proof that it can cut, but also I have no doubts. And I say this because when I'm trying to put the pen in the handle, I feel that I press too hard on the edge of the pen, and I have cut my fingers so many times that now I think everything with a sharp edge can cut me. So to put the pen in the handle, I had to take a little cloth that I have right over here to make the pen more manageable, and that way I will not have to touch the metal. Once I did that, the pen is pretty secure in the handle, which is very ergonomic to tell you the truth, although the real test is going to be when I use them with Indian ink. And to take off the pen, I had to use the cloth one more time. The next thing that I'm going to show you is this palette that I loved as soon as I saw it. The truth is that I don't need another palette because I have a lot. And as you can see over here, it has a flower shape with 4 compartments, 1 in the center and 4 more smaller compartments over here. In the back there is a little bit of information. I decided to get this palette because even though it's made of plastic, I think it's very resistant, as you can see over here. And I think this palette will be very helpful to use the next thing that I'm going to show you. And now what I'm most excited about, that I know I've said excited a lot of times, are these liquid watercolors. In Lumen they sell several brands of this kind of watercolor with lots of colors and different prices, which is something that I really liked. I have used liquid watercolors in the past, however it was just a couple of times and I consider myself a beginner with this material. That's why I decided to get these watercolors that are very cheap and have a very large range of colors. At the end I decided to get 8 that I would say are the colors that I like the most and also that I used all the time. And I bought violet, magenta, Prussian blue, light yellow, emerald green, bugambilia, cobalt blue, and finally black. These little bottles that are actually droppers come with the name of the brand, the content, which in this case are 50 millimeters, the color, and a little bit of information in the back. But what caught my attention was this that I'm showing you right here and that I'm going to read to you, and it says, attention, the colors of these watercolors are little resistant to light. They are recommended for ephemeral, which means they last shortly, or meant to be photographed, temporary events, and design sketches. that means they are perfect to me. And as I told you, they are droppers that comes with a plastic seal. Actually, this was great for me because, as I told you, I didn't get them in my hometown, and I was very worried about the fact that I thought they might spill or something like that. Especially because I had a 4-hour road trip ahead, but I was relieved as soon as I saw that they were sealed. To open them, I will take something pointy and carefully I will punch out the plastic seal. Now, when I put them in water, that this is actually a bigger amount of water than I would normally use, but I did this so you can see a little bit better how the watercolor dilutes. However, I am not very sure if you can see over here, but the watercolor leaves a little bit of point or drops, I don't know how to call them, but that disappear as soon as you mix very well the watercolor in the water. And they were actually pretty hard to take once I deposit them in the sink, so that you can take that into account. And with that, I have finished to show you everything that I got. That, by the way, I bought this on a Saturday and I waited a whole week to open them in a video, and I was dying to open them. I can tell you that I love going to Lumen, I love to watch their website, and overall I think they sell pretty good products over there. Now, could these products be cheaper? Well, of course. And I think that of everything I buy. But something that I love about getting new materials is the fact that I love to learn, and I also think about the opportunities that comes with them. But what I love the most is definitely this, to learn more and to create content, because, well, that's what I study for. You can let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about these new materials? Tell me if you would buy them or buy something different. You can suggest me something to use them for the first time, because I have plans to create something in the future for you, and I hope you can see that video pretty soon. And if you're not subscribed and you would like to be, hit the subscription button, or you can do that on the image that's over here, and turn on the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when there's a new video around. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments, and for sharing this content, and I recommend you to see these videos that you may like. Follow me on my social media, that's on the screen and in the description box, and I'm off to see you next time. Bye bye!